Surprise, surprise, surprise. He's back for another day because we had to cut it short yesterday. Cory is back in the house because there was so much to talk about yesterday. We barely got to anything. And I had that stupid meeting. And I was texting you like, the meeting was scheduled for 30 minutes. It ended up going 53 minutes.
I was about to say an hour later.
And nothing relevant occurred after minute 8.
But you do know how important those people are now.
We do. They have not hired us. They've reached out to us so we have a job site to look for work. They reached out to us to say, hey, can you put a splash page about our program helping specific workers in the field that they kind of work with? I don't want to call them out on the show because I do like getting a paycheck every 2 weeks.
As it turns out, yeah.
And so they wanted us to create a splash page on our site so that their workers could come look for work on our page. But during the process told us how great their website was.
Look,
then why are you reaching out for us to help you out? If you're so good at it, just take it on. I don't need the extra work.
I need you to make me a cake. I mean, my cake is great. It's fantastic, but I just need you to make me one.
And before
it's not because mine isn't delicious, but I just need you to make me one for some reason.
Yeah.
It sounds like they have funds that they have to burn through. Otherwise they won't get them allocated next year.
I don't think their site's as good as they think it is, but okay. But before we get into the CrossFit stuff, one more update on my mom's story. So we get a call back from the superintendent of the school, and after we had asked why there was no ambulance called for her.
Yes.
The response was, my mom is a cafeteria worker. She's a lunch lady. Their response was, we don't have a policy for cafeteria workers.
What about human beings?
They're contracted in.
What about people? They got to respond like what?
So you're telling me the UPS guy comes in with a 100-pound package, trips and falls on your floor. You got a policy for that?
Bro.
The woman fell and hit her head on the floor. Hit her head. And you picked her up and asked her friend to come pick her up and take her to the hospital.
First of all, aside from the obvious, how do you even know she has a friend to call? Like, that seems like it would take a whole lot more work to get to than going 911. We just have an elderly, like.
What if a parent comes in for a teacher's conference, trips and falls and hits their head? You're going to pick them up and say, go about your way?
We did Dads on Duty a couple weeks ago at my daughter's school. I high-fived 700 kids in the morning. If one of us dads that have been there would have fell down and busted our head on the concrete outside, I can guarantee you the ambulance would have been there within 10 minutes. Tops. Because common sense. Hey, this dude's hurt. We can't do anything. Like, somebody call an ambulance.
When someone hits their head, you can't see a brain bleed. You can't see a fracture.
It's just common.
A medical professional, an EMS person, come in and assess the situation, put them on a backboard, whatever it needs to be, and transport them to a place where they can do imaging.
Put them in the vehicle specifically designed to haul people to the hospital.
Hey Jody, oh no, wrong one.
Mhm.
That school lacks common sense. Scary thought those people were teaching children.
Absolutely, very.
Yeah, it is so dumb.
It's outrageous.
He's practicing COYA. It's common human decency. But how does that cover his ass? They don't have a policy. It is an accident that happened in your facility on your grounds, and my mom is like the 10th person to fall because of these floors being sticky. So there is other precedents happening. The liability is, you can cover your ass all you want with this policy BS, but you're going to get sued.
It's like signing a waiver at a gym. That's great. You signed a waiver. Good for you.
So, anyway, moving on.
Moving
That's
on.
an issue I got to deal with. But it just,
How's she feeling?
yesterday she was more sore than the day it happened, right? Just like the day after a car accident,
Absolutely.
So the shiner on her eye is really bad. It's spread. So when I talked to her on Tuesday, it was just contained like right in like the eye socket. Now it's done because it's healing. It's spread out like down the cheek and around. But she went to workers' comp. She's doing all that kind of stuff to filling out all the paperwork. So a waiver is basically 2 pages of please don't consider suing me. Yeah. So, what do we want to talk about today? I feel like you got everything out yesterday.
I mean, we've met, dude. I've always got something to say about something.
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about is I watched the end of the Pat Vellner video with Coffee Pods and Wads. I was only about halfway through when we talked yesterday. Everybody said I had to see the last 10 minutes or so. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy at the end. He said some things that really kind of made me scratch my head. And yes, the theme of yesterday must have been delusion. Right? We had the Will Morad delusional thing going on with that the games would be a tour stop on the WFP. And then we have Vellner saying that everybody is taking things out on the athletes and they're not giving it a chance. I've really not heard anybody bash the athletes.
Dude, Sprague was on with Savan this morning, and Savan was saying, and I was agreeing with, like, I don't give a shit what you do. Like, if you want to compete in every competition that rolls around, outstanding, good for you. But don't, and forgive me, I'm trying to gather this. Don't do it and then act like you're doing it out of, choose one or the other and then act like you're doing it for a reason that's not actually, like, say why you say, just be honest with it. Hey, this is why I'm doing this. Cool. Good for you. Moving right along.
Well, I found that unusual, right? And I watched Savan this morning in the opening with him and Sprague on the whole thing. And I'm trying not to just rehash what they did, but because I thought they did make excellent points.
Absolutely.
What I will say is that him saying that, like, the people who chose to just do WFP have been unfairly criticized, and I have not seen it toward the athletes. Now maybe he's getting DMs, maybe he's seeing something that I don't see, but I haven't really seen a direct attack on the athletes that chose just to do that one.
I doubt he's getting DMs because he said he barely gets on social media anymore. Which is another weird thing to say, that if you are barely getting on social media, then how would you even know or come to the conclusion that people are shitting on the athletes for choosing one over the other?
I don't know. CrossFat says, I guess I can only see Pat's friend died and Pat can't get past CrossFit with that. And so his rational decision making is gone.
Maybe that's what it is.
But with Pat, I know why he left. He told us why he left. Okay, I can respect that. You went and you did it, and fine. But I don't think people have attacked him for that. They may have attacked him for foolish things he said with the PFAA, or things that didn't make sense, or contradictory comments, which I think is. So let's take one step back. So you have the athlete piece, right? Now you have the whole people attacking unfairly the WFP. And I thought Peter had made a pretty good point to say that they came out and said, we're going to do it better. When you come out and say you're going to do it better, you yourself are setting the bar way up here. Right? Because you're coming out with an edge saying, because of this, we are going to do it better. And then you keep messing up. And that's one aspect of it. But the true problem with the WFP is they keep lying and then contradicting themselves. And they're trying to make it seem like the media are doing this. And that the media, they don't criticize CrossFit, but they're criticizing them. Oh my gosh. If you have watched this show, Savon, Hiller, CrossFit has been hit in the nose way more times than WFP in the last 5 years. It is
weekly. I would say weekly, sometimes daily. For whatever stupid decision HQ has made.
The design of this season has been horrific for CrossFit. Now, they had a good CrossFit Games that was very enjoyable, and I think bounced back a lot of the negative publicity because it came with a new ad campaign. It came back with Forging Elite Fitness. It came back with a lot of things around that games time to kind of get you to rally around that. But the semifinal season was a complete mess.
Yeah.
And we all said that.
Everybody called it out from the initial get-go, from when it was announced. Oh, we're going to do the online qualifier in the middle of the live ones. You're going to do what?
And you won't know the results for 2 weeks. So when you're doing these other semifinals, we don't really know who's qualifying until those final results happen.
Might make a difference. Might not. Who knows? Nobody does. And again, like you said, from day one, as soon as that was announced, people were like, this is insane. This is insane. This is crazy. Why are y'all doing this? This shouldn't be like this. Over and over and over and over again. Bruh.
Yeah, Jenny said it the best. It's Delulu.
Delulu.
And it seems to be a contagious disease lately. I just don't get it.
It's the echo chamber effect, right? Or like who was it? Somebody said it in the comments a minute ago. The whole "why aren't you outraged with me" type deal. Well, because I don't care. Or because my outrage doesn't look like yours. And that's okay. Like, if that's what you want to do, dude, nobody's knocking you for it. Do what you want to do. That's perfectly fine. That right there. Nobody wins with the "why aren't you outraged with me?"
Yeah.
That's a hard fact. If something bothers Scott so much that he needs to speak on it and say something about it, he's not going to drag me with it to say the exact same thing 45 times in a row. It's just not how Scott operates. It's not how most people operate, I would venture to think. Most rational people, right? You're not going to just, I don't understand why you're not so mad. Well, because that doesn't affect me in any kind of way. Like, why would I get mad at something like that? Why would I get mad at stuff that is beyond my level of control?
When you come out and say, we're not competing with CrossFit, and then 2 weeks later, you're trying to steal CrossFit affiliates to become affiliates of your program. That's where you lose people.
Within like 2 weeks.
Right. You can't say that over here and then do this.
Yeah. We're not going to, it's like a restaurant, a fast food restaurant opening across the street from Subway saying that we're not really in competition with them. There's plenty of people to go around. We are going to sell the exact same sandwiches and carry the exact same meats and basically have more or less the same type things. We're going to tweak it just a tiny bit. But we're not in contact. We're, it's not competition.
We're not competing with CrossFit, but sometime in the future, I could see them as a tour stop of ours.
That's still.
If that's not competing, that's saying we're going to crush them to the point that their only survival is to become a tour stop.
That they're gonna beg to come and be a part of our thing. It's Delulu. I'm gonna go with Jenny's choice of word there. Delulu. It's absolutely that. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. It is a bold strategy.
And then going on podcast and calling things petty arguments. This was created out of a petty argument.
Petty argument.
WFP was created out of a petty argument. You didn't like the way CrossFit did things. You didn't like the way they handled Lazar's death. And so you decided that you were going to create a competitor to take advantage of that and build a place for other people to come where they were taken care of much better.
For athletes, by athletes.
Now, we may have some broken bikes. We may have a broken GHD. We may, who knows? You may have to work out in the dark.
Or not.
But we're going to take care of you better. And so I've said this once before. When your foundation is building it out of hate, that's not a foundation to stand on for long term.
No.
That's not a business plan.
The games grew organically from the very first time when Greg said, let's have a little festival. Let's see who can do these better. We'll do a couple of workouts in a day, which at the time was absolutely insane. And then year over year, it just got bigger. Now let's have a qualifying progress to get step, whatever you want to call it, qualifying progression to get here. Oh, we need to change that up a little bit because we're not getting the right people. Oh, well, now it's so big, we need to add stuff to it. It's going on over 20 years. And then, I don't like the way they did one thing. So 2 things, 3 things. So instead of maybe being the change that I want to see in it, advocating for it, seeing what will happen for it, we're just going to create an entirely new thing and then act like we're not recreating what's already there. And in the meantime, we're going to claim that we're doing it bigger and better. Even though that's not necessarily, it's not. And then you find out halfway through, this is not nearly as easy as I thought it was going to be. I do think Will admitting that on when he was talking to Pedro the other day was pretty big of him going, it turns out this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. Well, yeah, of course it is, because you had no idea what you were doing to begin with, which is fine. Jump right in, both feet, you got money behind you, and it's not yours. Who gives a shit? Go for it. But don't come out and say it's going to be this great, phenomenal, fantastic thing when you have absolutely no idea what you're building or trying to build.
Vellner's is deflecting away from the attempted defect and dividing fans and trying to drive other athletes away from the game season. I think that is what they have been trying to do. I think that if you listen to Pat in that interview, other than the last 10 minutes, he was softening his stance and saying, maybe I'll do the CrossFit game season, but it depends on who owns it next season.
Right. Which that's fair. A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah.
But also, and I think, and maybe this is my athlete brain kicking in a little bit, but I think part of it has to do with he's 35. His best years more than likely are behind him at this point. WFP, he can go over there. He's already a part of it. Knows he's going to make money, whatever. He can still keep doing the thing he wants to do without having to come in or the masters category where you're not going to get the recognition, much less the money, sponsorships, whatever the case may be. And it's hard to let go of. So it's real easy to be petty at that point.
Yeah. I want to speak to Sean's thing here. How to handle an athlete's death wasn't a petty argument, but using that as a knee-jerk excuse to start the WFP is shallow. Why I call it a petty argument is having an athlete die had to be one of the hardest things for anyone in the CrossFit space to ever have to handle. Nobody anticipated this day coming. Nobody thought this day was be coming. And they are being judged so severely for how they reacted in the hours after that occurred. My point about petty is everybody that has criticized CrossFit in the way they've handled it have never told me how it should have been handled differently. Ben Bergeron, when asked, how do you handle it differently then? Well, I don't know. And that was 6 months after the fact. You've had 6 months to think about it and you still can't come up with the way to do it better.
I give you one better because I finished that statement for you. Ben not only said, I don't know, he said, I don't know, but I would have done it better.
Right. And
no, you don't.
Kind of like everybody, they're just mad, but nobody can take and put themselves in the shoes of those people who had to handle that situation and figured out how to do it better and told me what was the solution.
Because they don't have one, Scott. It's screaming at the sky. It's being mad because the sun came up again. And poor Lazar is still dead. God bless him. Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted that to happen. It's unprecedented. It has not happened in our sport at all, ever. It's the first one. We have a running joke at our gym. When you have some ridiculous workout and people are laying on the ground like breathing hard and sweating and basically in a mess, you just lay on and be like, hey, just so you know, to date, nobody has died in here. We're going to keep that streak going today, right? Because we wouldn't know what to do if somebody did other than to call the ambulance, right? To expect people to just know what to do when something, especially he didn't collapse on the floor.
The thing I hate most about society today is it's really easy to sit on the sidelines and say you did it wrong, but nobody offers the solution. How would you have done it differently then? It's really easy to sit over there and say you didn't handle that right, but nobody has offered up. This is what should have happened.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yes, Vicky.
I'm kind of with you, Vindicate. I don't know why that bugs me. It bugs me.
It was crooked.
I grew up in the day of like you round it down.
I can't. I can, but it's a whole thing. If I do that when the sunglasses that I have, I can't. It sits up like on this part of my head. Anyway.
In the midst of all that, none of them tried to unite the community in any way or be a part of the solution. It was a great time to step up, and no one did. I think there were people that understood what was going on and tried to say they understood. Being there in that arena that weekend, it sucked.
Yeah,
I remember. It was so hard. And I wasn't even in charge of doing anything. And I was paralyzed for moments because it sucked so bad. So how could I point a finger at Dave or Boz or Don Fall and tell them they did it wrong when I'm sitting there in the arena going, what the hell just happened? Because I wasn't thinking clearly that day. And I knew Lazar on a surface level.
Right.
Like he knew my name. I knew his name. We talked a couple times. He's been on the show a bunch. It hit me hard. And I am sure the same happened to them. I am sure that Dave and Dawn and all those people were devastated. And then they were given instructions by a board on how to handle a situation. And it was an impossible task to be the face of that.
They did the best they could with the information that was given to them in the situation that it was. Was it fantastic? Nope.
And this had a big part in what went down.
Absolutely it did.
Lawyers played a big part in what went down.
Absolutely it did.
Just like we talked with my mom at the top of the show, liability resides with the people holding the contest, the competition. And I don't know. Well, enough about that. A couple other things I wanted to ask you about. One, I'm close with Tristan. I'm close with Hattie. I know you're close with Tristan. Yesterday, Hattie was on Glitton Things, and she made the announcement that she has left Tristan and moved on to a different coach. How shocked were you? Because I
almost wrecked the Jeep. I was on my way. I was on my way home. I really did.
Finishing the documentary from behind the scenes at the games with the two of them.
Yeah.
And I've been scrambling ever since I watched that last night and I got permission from the Glintons to be able to use that as the end of the documentary.
Oh.
Because it shifts the whole ending of the doc. And I know that bigger than that, and I understand, sometimes you just need a different perspective. There are people when you're even an average Joe, one coach says something to you and it doesn't click. Another coach comes over and says something to you and all of a sudden, bam, oh, I get it now.
100%. I did not have that on my 2025 bingo card at all. Was not even an option in my head, right? Having said that, the fact that it's amicable and that Tristan is absolutely, we had a fantastic run, wishes are nothing but the best, and Hattie saying same thing, hey, it is what it is. I'm moving on, still love Tristan to death, rooting for him, all that stuff. Didn't see it coming, but the fact that it's, I won't say a good thing, but you know what I mean? It ended well, I guess you could say. That made me happy.
Well, now she's going to Brute, and it's been brought up here. That and the Brute moving shook me, and the Brute changes are wild. I don't even know all the changes. Because I'm not done with Savon from this morning, and I know James was just kind of getting into it when I had to quit watching. They're leaving Jacksonville.
That's as far as I got to, because I was in and out with work.
And I heard James say that Dallin is going to move someplace to have better balance in life. I can only assume he's moving back to the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
Or he's moving in next door to Jason. I don't know.
Maybe they bought the house next door to Jason's. They're gonna work out in Jason's barn together.
Yeah. Or build like a barn that goes over the two property lines.
I like it. It's a solid plan. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Hattie is going to Brute.
Sounds like Matt is moving somewhere no one else would go. Like Vermont? Is that what you're getting at, Travis? I cracked myself.
Crazy. Crazy. So I just found that, like it was just like 3 years ago, like the camps were the biggest thing and everybody was moving to the camp and to work out every day. And now most of the camps seem to be remote.
I could see both sides as far as the camps. Like, if you're in it every single day and you are two killers, right? If you are Jason and Dallin and you are next to each other every single day, it would be very, very hard to have a normal training session that does not turn into a competition. And doing that every single day is not going to be healthy whatsoever for your longevity. They just made that word up. For your fitness in general, because you cannot compete every single day and expect to be able to recover and get ready and be good for the next day.
Remember Comp Train Academy?
Briefly. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That worked for half a season.
If I want to say 4 months. I want to say 4 months, beginning to end. I remember whenever they announced it, thinking, yeah, I mean, okay, kind of like IMG Academy or whatnot. Like, people go there and they live there and that's what they do. And then didn't work well at all.
PO is moving to Boston. I'm betting you that doesn't even matter because they just brought on Justin. Justin is not leaving Vegas. So it's going to be all remote anyway.
Yeah.
So really the only two places that have a headquarters that matter is TTT and Proven. Mayhem. I forgot about them. They're kind of big.
I mean, Mayhem's kind of a big deal at that point. And then Mayhem is not just Mayhem, right? It's Cookeville in general. Because it's Mayhem and it's the barn.
Yeah, the barn doesn't get used as much as it used to. I think Rich was disappointed in that. If you've watched some of their latest videos, he's been trying to encourage the athletes to show up at the barn and use it because it's there.
Because it's in his backyard. I would too. Hey guys, wait.
See, I'm a crotchety old man. I don't want anybody back. I don't want to see people.
He also
get out of here.
Right. I also get the feeling from Matt, not from Matt, excuse me, from Rich, that he enjoys having people around. Like, he wants somebody to come work out with him so he can write some nonsense on the board and they can destroy themselves for 30 minutes to an hour. Like, I feel like that's a whole thing. I train with myself 90% of the time. And when I do get people to come do stuff with me, it's just more fun, dude. It really, really is.
When I said TTT CrossFit, what I was meaning is their headquarters still matter. They have a lot of camps there. They bring in athletes for longer periods of time to do X things, right? The big quarter, I'm sure they'll all be in there for quarterfinals. They'll all be there for online semifinals.
They still put out, I'm subscribed to their YouTube channel. They still put out videos daily. And like CTP is on top of his shit.
And even Mayhem, a lot of the athletes are remote.
But they also spend a lot of time in Cookeville, like the main ones.
Right. Yeah. And they're invited there to do all the major competitions and all the
right.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
The same thing with Proven.
Most of their athletes are Australian. They're not in Nashville year round.
No, but the American ones, like they're at the headquarters, I feel like a lot.
Their YouTube's great. It's a more genuine HWPO model now. Yeah, I agree. I've always liked TTT's content. CTP is awesome.
Puts out stuff,
and he's just a great dude. He's one of the people I hang out with whenever I'm at events.
I still will never forget when he went on Beyond Around the Whiteboard with Pedro and he opened a freaking Pokemon card pack. as part of for one of his minute-long sessions or answers or whatnot. Like the dude he's good people.
He's just funny. He doesn't take anything too seriously. He's just a good dude, man.
The TTT stuff is fun to watch because they don't take it too seriously either. Like they sound like me and my friends when we sit around and talk about programming and comps and stuff like that. It's enjoyable to watch. It really, really is. Props.
That Lydia Fish video, they talked about what Fortnite and Call of Duty and Taco Bell as much as they talked about her doing the workouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Speaking
of the camps, a question I've actually had on my notes to ask you for a while now.
Oh, here we go.
Is how many opportunities should an athlete get? So, in sports, they always say like the amount of mistakes you can make correlates with the talent that you have.
Correct.
Right? If you suck and you make a mistake, you're probably getting cut.
Sooner rather than later.
If you're really great athletically and you make a mistake, you probably get like 5 or 6 of those before the threat of a cut or a trade comes up.
Yeah.
So we have people like Sarah Sigmundsdottir who have been with every camp under the sun. Now we have Danielle Brandon, who has been underdog, Brute, couple coaches at Brute, now with Adam Neifert. How many opportunities does she get? Is there, if she doesn't succeed with Brute, is there any place she can go after this?
Where else is there for her to go? Let me ask you this. I talk about that. Who else is willing to try to take it on when everything she does is public? When everything she does, not everything. I mean, I say everything. That's kind of mean. But when most of the stuff she does that it turns out to be public, it's not great. Like from a publicity standpoint, where she comes off as being very, very hard to work with, very diva-ish, very, I mean, she's putting do not use signs on machines at the gym because they're Danielle's.
Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown. Josh Gordon. Their talent levels were so high, they got so many opportunities in the NFL.
Yeah.
There is no debating that Danielle Brandon's talent level is at a level that is very rarely seen.
If she doesn't can the back squat, she's on the podium this year. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
If she does not shit can the back squat at the games, she is on the podium. High on the podium. So it ain't like she's not, but how much other stuff are you willing to put up with? And what's the upside for the coaches?
And that's the other thing. How many coaches have the ego that think I'm the one that can make it click?
Right.
So I think it's twofold. She has the talent level to be a podium athlete at the CrossFit Games. And how many coaches are left that have the ego to say, I know that all these other coaches failed, but I got something they don't, and I can make it click.
I'm the one that's going to bring her back to center and get her up on the podium. If not win. She's fit, dude. Insanely so.
It's just an interesting thought. Like,
Adam is a insanely nice guy. Ridiculously nice guy, right? Darn good and well, whenever they asked him, hey, y'all think y'all could just kind of shepherd her for the games or whatnot? And he was like, yeah, sure. Right? It wasn't like, oh, yeah. There's no way that was a thing. That's probably one of those you get off the phone and you're like, okay, here we go. Because you got to start think about how we're going to make this actually happen. and how we're actually going to make it work.
Just for mirrors, no one wants that poison in their gym. That's what people said about Antonio Brown, Dennis Rodman, Terrell Owens.
To be fair,
all the time for that to wear out.
To be fair, the stuff like as far as Dennis Rodman is concerned, you go look at all the documentaries and whatnot that he's in, especially like the one about the Bulls, is that when they just left him alone and let him do his thing, he was fine. He might have showed up with 6 different color hair or some extra piercings that he didn't have the day before or whatnot, and probably would have been hungover, but he's going to get you 15, 20 rebounds a night.
Yeah, but how many games does he miss while you're letting him be himself?
Not enough to not win 3 championships in a row. So there's that.
CrossFit says, I've definitely looked at her and said, I can fix her.
Dude.
I know you're joking. I know that this is a joke, but I am telling you, there are coaches that are saying that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And on the flip side, I know one personally who said, I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
He said, there's no possible way. Not happening. So there's that. I would say it's very, I like the analogy you used. Yeah.
When he went missing with Carmen Electra and MJ had to go get him. Yeah.
I very much like the analogy you used that of what's the upside, right? And how many high-end coaches are left that'll say, right? Underdogs is done as a thing. Justin is now HWPO. So if Justin's now HWPO, she's not going over there. That ain't going to happen. Right? Adam is over there and kind of shepherding, doing whatever. But unless somebody else that we don't know about yet, one of these people who's like, oh, I can fix her. I can definitely fix her. Let me ask you this too. How many others are there? Sarah's been everywhere, right? But everybody loves Sarah. Sarah's been everywhere because she's looking at other people going, I can probably go over there and get better. You've never heard a story where Sarah Sigma's daughter was run out of camp or run off of somebody's, training program.
If Collar couldn't handle her, no one else can. I truly believe that, but let me throw this out to you. Why does it have to be a big camp? If you are one of these smaller people like Golden Line or Tristan or one of these coaches on the up and coming that are trying to make a name for themselves, if you can be the one to fix Danielle, what does that do for your trajectory as a coach for the rest of your career?
You'd have to convince her of that first. Think about it like this.
True. I'm just saying that it's worth the gamble if you're a smaller coach.
Where she finished, what, 5th this year?
Fourth.
I think it was 5th or 4th, something like that. Last year, we'll throw that out the window, right? But she's been hovering in that top 10 zone, right? Top 5 zone the past couple of years. As an athlete, like that's going to do some stuff for your head and thinking, well, I don't know who the hell you are. Why? Like that's a tough sell is what I'm getting at for these, up and coming.
It's all about the options she has. And if she doesn't have any because something doesn't go right with Neifert, then she may have to go down to like a coach like that. Or she programs for herself. But then who do you blame?
I just keep thinking that as soon as you say who do you blame, I picture in that ice bucket at the games, bitching at Matt, at Torres, about I should have done or about whatever. Like, you can't do that. Like at some point, I can't. At Monster Games, I was on track to win an event. I missed my second to last bar muscle up of the entire thing. I can't go back and bitch at Brandon for not programming enough. I'm performing, not him. Right? He's just giving me tools, sending me on my way. Like, it's a personal responsibility at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. Tell her to go to Ariel Lowen. Did anyone know she works out in her garage and does her own programming?
Aren't her and Ariel like tight?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough about that. The last thing I just wanted to talk about is James talked about today on Savon his requirements for posting on social media that he has right now with sponsors is he has to get 35 posts out in a month. That is crazy.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. How do you stay genuine to who you are? And as he was talking, I just kept thinking, like, James, the reason people stay with you are because you're authentic, right? That's why they're with you. And the more requirements they make of him on these posts, the less authentic he can even be.
Yeah. After a while, you're going to start recycling stuff. I mean, what else are you going to do? That's more than one a day.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Not to mention all the other stuff he's got going on.
Like, I heard Vindicate is a bastard. If Colton doesn't post every 69 minutes, he gets a lashing. Oh, wait. Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Travis is rough. That's why he won't sponsor me, because I know I won't post every 69 minutes. I'm like, nah, dude, I got other stuff to do. Back to James, he's got a lot of shit going on. He is training, right? Sponsoring stuff. He's got this competition he's putting together. He's programming for. He's doing all the things for. He's got the people that he trains as well. Like, he was going through it this morning and talking about all of it. I was like, I didn't realize how much stuff he actually has his fingers in at 23 years old. And it's a lot. A whole lot.
When I interviewed him when he was, I think, 17, he had started his own businesses then. Like, he was doing a programming that teens could buy when he was 17 years old. Like, I think he just has that spirit in him that he wants to be busy. His mind moves at 1,000 miles an hour. If you've been around him, he is like the Energizer Bunny, and he just needs to be moving and occupied at all times. And I think that's probably when he's best.
Oh, absolutely. Anybody I've ever met that's myself included that needs to be engaged, like, during the day.
Vindicate is not going to sponsor you because you wear flat billed hats.
Send me a shirt. I love Travis.
When I was a kid, we used to put a baseball in the brim and take a rubber band and wrap around the bill to get it to be really curved.
If you see one of the other ones that's in my Jeep, it looks like that. One of my newer hats from the gym. Anyway, yeah, I operate better when I'm doing 4 things at once, because it keeps my mind occupied. Like, during the course of a day, I am working on a quote. I'm talking on the phone to somebody at the same time. I got music playing on the other end. Like, my wife hates it because, like, I need noise and I need stuff going on to be able to keep my mind occupied. So if I just sit here and just left them on devices, it's not good.
Yeah. that much stuff going on, I usually cut off a finger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said my wife hates it. When we had to work together at home, when the world shut down, we were on opposite ends of the living room, and that she was about ready to murder me after the first day because I got music playing. I got to answer the phone. I talk to people. I'm click-clacking on the keyboard and whatnot, and she likes it quiet. Like I'll go pop in the house for lunch some days, and I'll open the front door, and you can't hear nothing. And she's working. And I'm like, how do you, if I was sit here in silence all day long, I'd fall asleep. Like there's no possible way. I need noise. I need something. And I feel like that's how James' brain probably works as well. Like he needs 14 projects to keep him occupied.
Yeah. Well, now we've gone almost an hour. And yeah, Joseph, that is the old school method because I am old school.
To be fair, 9 times out of 10, my hat is usually like this anyway. So,
well, that's because Will Morad makes it look so good that everybody's doing it now.
But it also had to be like this to look like I just smoked a bowl and just sitting here talking to you. I got it forward because it's got my people going. They're not sponsoring the show, but doesn't matter. We advertise.
Yeah. It's tough to get sponsors for this because you hear like what James is going through, and I'm very like nothing I hate more than our ad reads.
Right.
And I never want to do an ad read. And if I talk to a sponsor, like I am never doing an ad read. It's got to be something that like I can talk about in the normal flow of a conversation, or something like when we were with C4, like I could drink it on air. There you guys see it. And you guys know I truly was drinking that shit all the time.
Bro, the case that you sent me, the care package, whatever you want to call it, it lasted me over a month. I still got the shaker bottles.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the Heller video with Liz. It's great. I love the stories of people who work and do this CrossFit thing for a living. And she's badass, man. I've about 10 minutes left at the end of that, but yeah, I definitely caught most of it. She's just one state over.
Where's she at?
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. One of my buddies texted me last night, and he's going to MFC next weekend, and said,
"Is that next weekend already?"
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah, next weekend or a weekend after that. It's in October coming up. I had the memories from 23 pop up on my phone. Matter of fact, I flew home today 2 years ago. My wife just texted me. But anyway, one of my partners who's competing in my division was like, he said, I got most of them done, just testing them and whatnot. He said, you think you could test a couple of them for me? Because I have no idea if I need to go faster, if I'm going fast enough, blah, blah, whatever. And I felt pretty good about myself that I got my peers over here and trying to get me to test stuff for them because they know I'm not going to see how they stack up.
Mayhem podcast ads were better when Rich read them half-assed. Now they are pre-recorded and no fun. I agree.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But I'd also say that when he did them half-assed, when he first did that, it was definitely refreshing. But that even gets old after a bit. But if you truly use the product, why does it need to be a recorded or even read thing?
It's probably in the contract.
Then don't sign the contract. Like say the contract, I want to be able to talk about it freely, how I use it. I just, other podcasts that do those read things just bug the hell out of me.
Oh, dude, look, I listen to the Sean Ryan show fairly often, and you can go look. Like as soon as it starts, I know it lasts about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and I just start fast forwarding through it so I can get through it because like I don't want to hear about gold and that I need to buy some or pillows or whatever it is that they're selling. Like I'm not buying any of your stuff. I just want to hear about what this dude has to talk about.
Back in the day, like Rogan used to have like 8 minutes of ads before his show started. Like nobody's sitting through 8 minutes of ads. They're all fast forwarding.
Talk about that. The Opie and Anthony show, talk radio out of New York. I remember listening to them. I had to go find old episodes or whatnot, and they had people that would call in or email to them or something like that, complaining about the ads that they would play. Now they're on the radio, like you have to play commercials, and like you play too many breaks or whatnot. And he's like, why don't you just play all of them at once? And they were like, you do not want us to play 5 minutes of commercials at one time. And I got in an argument with a dude on the phone, and then they played 5 minutes of commercials at one time, and it was absolute misery. Like just having to sit there and just go, yep, oh, there's another, yep, okay, there's another one, yep, yep, Jimmy John's, that's fantastic. Don't buy Volkswagen or whatever. Terrible, absolutely terrible. And I agree.
We are now sponsored by.
But on that note, while we're talking about it, oh, that's good shit.
With that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It's been a blast. I know Jan and Jake have Vellner on again today. So you might want to go check that out. I love Jan and Jake. I just don't know if I can do another Vellner video.
I'm curious. So like I'm going to turn it on, but just because I'm curious, that's really it.
And then starting next week, I'm going to start bringing in some guests during the week to have lunch with. Trying to make it more conversational. Just people from around the sport, maybe an athlete, maybe someone else, maybe a volunteer, maybe I don't know. Tuesday, I'm having Josh Hicks on, the head of medical for both the WFP and has been brought in on many events in the CrossFit space. He cut his teeth in CrossFit for many years. He's been a friend of mine ever since I was a volunteer back in 2013. So we're going to talk, and he's putting together programs and safety protocol for all fitness events.
Good for him.
And he was brought in on the age group CrossFit Games. WFP has hired him to do all of their events. And he's been brought in on a lot of the other CrossFit stuff too, Wadapalooza, things like that. So that's his full-time job now. He was an EMS, helicopter EMS person.
Like flew the helicopter or rode in the helicopter?
Rode in the helicopter, 2 sites to do EMS.
I mean,
so he'll be on next Tuesday. We'll talk about what's going on in space, what his interpretation of everything is, how he feels about what's going on in space from his perspective. And that'll be next Tuesday. And we'll kind of keep those kinds of things rolling just to, especially during the off season, to shake things up a little bit.
When are you going on Chris's show?
Today.
Just
about an hour and 45 minutes from now.
Oh, all right. So go listen. I am curious to how the conversation is going with Jan and Jake and Hattie D there.
My guess is they're going to be talking about kids and they don't even touch on the other stuff.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, because Jake could give a shit less about the sport.
Yep. Oh, dude, man. Thanks. Indicate $20. Lunch on me today. Thanks for the content. Thank you. We truly appreciate that. So with that, we'll go out on a high note.
And on that,
we'll get some lunch now. With that, we'll see everybody tomorrow on Lunch with the Clydesdale. I'll be on Chris Beasterfield's podcast in about an hour and 45 minutes. Can't wait to hang out with you guys there. Bye, guys. Sure, we'll find this. There it is.